Oh boy, folks, do we have an update for you today. If you're paying child support like someone I know, you're going to want to hear this. Today's video is about discharging your child support obligation. I just found out that the bond I submitted to the record, I tendered a payment using U.C.C, discharged my child support, and you can too. Let's get into it. So a couple days ago, I logged in and looked at the case, and I found out that there is an order stopping the order of assignment for the income withholding. Any of you that have a child support order, there is an income withholding order usually attached to that tells the employer that they need to withhold from your paycheck every month. Now, if you want to get that stopped, you want to satisfy that debt, here's how you do it. So what I did a few months ago is I tendered a payment using U.C.C, tender of payment, and I applied the state codes in my cover letter to the court. When I tendered that payment, I included a bond, and I said that this bond shall discharge any charges due on the account. And the account is your court case. So if you have a court case, you can tender a bond and discharge that child support obligation. Now, I give consultations about this on my website, decryptedmatrix.com. I can walk you through exactly how to do this, but what I did is I included a cover letter, I created a bond, I sealed the bond, and then I tendered that as a payment, registered mail, directly to the court, to the clerk of court. And I told the clerk to put this bond on the record and to acknowledge the tender of payment. Guess what happened? Just recently, the judge issued an order stopping the order of assignment, the IWO. So here that is. Now, the only way that this would happen is if the court had officially acknowledged that the debt has been settled. How is that possible? It must be the bond. It's the only thing that I've done. Now, here's an example of the bond. You can take a look at it. Here is the cover letter that I used when I tendered the bond to the court. And then here is the court record, the court docket, showing that on the 15th, they actually acknowledged that the case has now been dismissed and there is an order stopping the order of assignment. The order of assignment happens when they tell your employer or whoever is collecting your wages to keep some of that to pay the child support, to pay the clearinghouse. Now, I got that stopped in my case. In my case, I actually have full custody, so mother owed me, and here is the balance showing that mother was $20,000 behind in arrears. And now, as of the 15th, there's no longer an order collecting from mother's paycheck. Everything has been zeroed out. And this is exactly what I expected. I just didn't know how long it would take. So if you want to try this yourself, here's an example of the bond. And here's an example of the cover letter that I used when I tendered the bond. And if you're interested in doing this yourself, all of this is free on my website, decryptedmatrix.com. But if you do want a little bit of hand-holding, I can walk you through exactly how I did this, I offer a consultation on my site along with the free documents. Go ahead and check it out. Any questions, let me know. Now, some of you are my followers. You already know that I am doing a similar thing with my auto finance company where I have tendered a payment using Uniform Commercial Code principles and statutes to administer a negotiable instrument to discharge the debt. They refused that instrument, and now I'm suing them in court, and we're still battling. The last video that I did, it seemed like they were not going to respond and I would have a default judgment. Well, guess what? At the very last hour, on the very last day, they sure enough submitted the motion to dismiss, and so far, I've survived the motion to dismiss. So you can read my case and the responses. We've gone back and forth a few times. The opposing counsel here is still not challenging the merits of the case. He's actually challenging the ability to arbitrate, which in the original agreement for the the car, there was an arbitration agreement in there, a clause in there. However, who I contracted with for the vehicle is a totally different name than who is collecting payments. Now, that's kind of their issue on their side, some shady business that they're involved